If you don't do this right, your business is worth nothing. You may as well give up and play scratch-off tickets all day. You wouldn't hire a child to do your brain surgery. You wouldn't hire a dog to drive you around all day. The bigger you want your business to be, the better the people have to be within your business. Within a company, you'll have 5 different kinds of people. 1, people that do the things you tell them to do. You give them orders, they take the orders, they do the things. We say in business you have order takers and order makers. These are not order makers. These are people that can follow instructions and do things. And that can be very valuable. Next, you have people that can take orders and do things as well as teach others how to do things. And as you'll see, this starts to become a self-fulfilling thing, a leverage point within a business. You can teach someone to do something, they can now teach multiple people how to do that thing, and the capabilities within the company grow. The third are people that point out things that need to be done. And so first is people that do things. The second is who do things and teach others to do things. The third is who can point out the things that need to be done. So you have trainers, and now you have people that are spotting issues as well, kind of keeping a radar on the company at what needs to be done. And fourth are people that do things better than the person that gave them the order to do the thing. And this is when you start to get into a real rarefied air within a business, that all of a sudden you have functions within the company that the leaders of these functions are actually better than you at that thing. As someone said one time, the sign of a good company is that everyone around them is smarter than them. It could also be an indication of dumb leadership, but the point remains, if you have people that are elite at their specified niche of the business, that creates a valuable business. And I guess category number 5 for a business is going to be people that can't do anything. And you'll come across them. All we can say is try to avoid it, try not to hire, try to get rid of them when you can. But nonetheless, 4 general categories of people within a business. Again, those that do, those that can teach, those that can spot issues, those that are elite. And that's kind of the spectrum you want to work your way up. And so now that we kind of know the buckets of people or the kind of categories that you're going to find in terms of people within a company, pivot over to how do you actually get these people to want to work for you? And so we always say hire slow, fire fast, measure twice, cut once. People sometimes say, what if the poor performers in a business leave? The real question is, what if they stay? So you want to find the right people within a business. And that has 2 implications. One is on the hiring side, and one is on the operational side. And really, as we say in all business, show me an incentive and I'll show you an outcome. If you make it that you're hiring people, or the people within your company that hire people are concerned that by bringing in smart people, they're going to risk their own job, risk their own livelihood within the company, then I can guarantee you they're just going to try to hire people slightly dumber than they are to make sure that, or let's forget dumb, slightly less brilliant than they are, however you want to look at it, in order to ensure that they are still kind of the master of things. And so when we think of businesses, we try to break it down into categories of specialization, categories of focus within the company. And that way, if you can judge a particular fiefdom within a company on its relative performance, on how it succeeded in accomplishing its objectives, you're now incentivizing the hiring people within that group to find the best people, not just the people that are going to make them look better. And so the second part of this comes to the actual people working, where you want to facilitate that good work. Again, that comes down to incentives, communication, and training. So you don't want to give people responsibilities that they're not capable of performing, because they will get discouraged and stop trying. So you need to train them to be good enough. You need to incentivize them with objectives, with goals, with targets. Show me something you are working towards, and I guarantee you people will get closer to it. And third, communication. If someone's doing something good, tell them. If someone's doing something bad, tell them. We used to joke sometimes on Wall Street that the only time, if you heard silence, it meant you were doing a wonderful job. It's not the way to run a business. You have to tell people, hey, this is great, this is good. These words of encouragement, it goes back to the Dale Carnegie ideas in business. This is what gets people to work hard. It's not just, a few more piastres or dollars is going to make everybody love what they're doing. It's the communication, it's feeling that there's an aligned objective, it's the proper incentives. That's what creates productivity. And so let's say you're able to define who are the people you want within your company. You're actually able to get them to want to work for your company. How do you put them in the right positions to do the right things? That is going to be the mapping of the operations of the business. And so you say, okay, we need sales, we need fulfillment, we need operations. All these different things within a company need to happen to make it work. You need to place people's talents according to what they're focused on. And not just that, but you have to have overlapping situations such that no one person getting fired or leaving is going to destroy the company. And so we say, map out the operations of a business. Tends to be sales, getting more business, execution, doing the stuff, operations, how the whole business runs together, HR, legal, and all that. Get people that there's no part of that map of responsibility that is untouched, that doesn't have someone responsible for it. And then second, make sure you have at least 2 layers on every task within the business. So again, you find the right people, now you organize them the right way to create the most effective productivity. And so now the last person you need to look at, yourself. And this is where leadership matters. You have the right people that do the right things. You've been able to get them to want to work for your company. How do you lead those people? How do you optimize their productivity? We'd say there's 2 tenets of this. 1, have the hard conversations. People would rather have bad news directly, concisely, crystallized than a bunch of mumbo-jumbo gobbledygook that kind of tries to say the same thing. You appear weak, everyone will think you're weak. You want respect, you want people to do the things you want the most out of all the people that work for you, have the hard conversations whether they like it or not. They will respect you even if they don't like you. And if you had to pick one of those, that's it. You know, it's not the old Michael Scott quote of, do I want people to love me or fear me? I want them to fear how much they love me. You know, but you want people to respect that you are running a business, and you'll see that their behavior will fall in line therefrom. And so all good things in life sit behind a couple difficult conversations. Better to just tackle those things. Hey, Bob, we've got this problem with your productivity. How can we fix it? Hey, Sally, it seems like you're lacking on this thing. How do we get ahead of it? What can we do better? You don't need to point fingers and say, you're an idiot, you can't do this. But you have to point out deficiencies of productivity, because oftentimes it'll unearth the actual issue. Well, I wasn't trained enough to know how to do this. Well, I just don't understand how this works or that works. It actually gives you something to do to rectify it, instead of just kicking around in your office grumbling about, oh, geez, what's wrong with these people? And then second, be the leader in the trenches. Now, you don't need to eat every soup sandwich that your company has to stuff down, but you have to have a presence in the trenches. You know, Napoleon, every great warrior over time would go on the front of the battle into the war, not just sit in a different room wondering, I wonder how this is going to work out. There was an anecdote. I think there was a guy, Lampert was his name, Eddie Lampert, who used to own Sears and Kmart. He was a hedge fund guy that bought the business. Now, apparently, these companies were in dire straits, trying to figure out what to do to try to compete with the Walmarts and the Amazons of the world. And Eddie Lampert used to sit on a yacht somewhere and have a giant screen in front of him where he would have executives of Sears come out of their offices into a conference room somewhere in Sears land, and he would sit on his yacht and just berate them while he was somewhere in Saint-Tropez. As you can imagine, that did not instill great confidence and support and commitment from his employees. And so, again, you don't have to do everything everyone is doing at your company, but you have to show them that you have, and you have to show them that you do. And so a couple instances of staying late with the team, of doing the hard things that need to be done, they will resonate. They will get the best you can out of the people that work for you. And so we've highlighted the kinds of people that we want. We've highlighted the way of trying to get them part of your company. We've highlighted the way to try to get them aligned most with the objectives that you want them to accomplish. And lastly, we said, what can you do to enhance, optimize, and really get the best out of everybody that's going to work for you? And so if you're trying to find where to place people within a company, think, what are their talents? What are their skill sets? They have to be lined up. You cannot stick an actuarial person in front of HR people, in front of hiring. Sometimes companies just say, hey, you know a lot about this particular part of the business. You should hire people. You have to get the right people doing the right things within a company. So it's not just, are they talented? It's, can they be the nail that hits the hammer that you're looking to do? And so again, have the hard conversations. You don't need to sit down with everybody who throws fish into the company microwave, but still, if there's a problem, solve it. Right? The strength of a human is oftentimes dictated by how quickly they decide and then act. If there's a problem, address it. If there's a good thing, acknowledge it. So you're a business owner, you run a company, you want the company to be as valuable and as well run as possible. Follow our content to learn more about how the people, the process, the product, how it all comes together to make your business as valuable as possible. Appreciate everyone taking the time. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see everyone next time.